Good afternoon, guys, and happy Halloween. Happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. So real quick, I wanted to start today's vlog because I have to share with you guys what it looks like outside. It looks absolutely crazy outside because it looks a little bit more like it is Christmas today than it looks like it is Halloween today. Me and my mom had to run an errand this morning. When we dropped Jack off for school, we dropped him off and then we went and ran our errand. It was like snowing. There was a little bit of snow on the ground. It looks like a blizzard outside though right now, guys. It's kind of crazy. We came back home. I've done half the bathroom. I got cleaned. I made myself like lunch, and then I did some dishes. I've already edited and uploaded today, but I'm still doing some more. But I'm sitting here and I was like, oh yeah, it's snowing a little bit. Like, it's kind of been a little flurries. You guys look at outside right now. This is what it currently looks like outside right now. I don't know if you guys can tell too. There's like there's actually a pileup of snow on the top of our car, and there's like leaves. There's, you know, those are like, you know, it's fall, it's Halloween, those are leaves out there, and then there's snow coming down like crazy. And I'm actually surprised it's like sticking to like our neighbor's roof, to the top of the car. Like it's kind of sticking on the grass and like even on like the bushes and stuff like that. And it's trick-or-treating for us in our area is supposed to start in about a half hour. So I feel so bad for all the little kids. Like, they're gonna be all bundled up in their, you know, snowsuits and stuff like that. Like, it's gonna look like everybody went as the same thing for Halloween, which is like, you know, like they're climbing Mount Everest or something. Because it's like blizzard-like conditions out here right now. So on top of that too, it's a little windy as well right now. So yeah, it's like it's blowing around. It looks like it's calming down just a tad bit, but this is like, it's crazy. Like, it's, yeah. So like I said, I thought I'd just share that with you guys. Now it's calming down a lot more, but yeah, we've got snow today. Well, guys, it is Halloween, I guess, not Halloween, but trick-or-treating has ended. Do you guys see how much snow we actually have outside? Like, we are almost, like, this was almost more snow than I feel like a lot of times when it snowed last year. We actually got, like, in the winter. Like, compared to right now, the dogs are having so much fun running around outside. But, it wasn't, like, this snowy during trick-or-treating, except for like at the tail end, like maybe the last half an hour to an hour, and it wasn't this like heavy coming down. But now you guys see, like, look at that, look at how much snow there is out there, and look at the dogs, they're just having a grand old time chasing each other. Hey, Bravo, he's like, come on Charlie, I'm gonna chase you. Oh my goodness, they're having so much fun. There's snow all over you, Bliss. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna take a shower and get to bed. I am still like stuffed up. It's actually better again too. It's gotten better kind of every day. But it's weird, like I said, I don't know if it's just a cold or if I have like a sinus infection, because like I literally have like nothing else is bothering me. The only thing is I'm like coughing just a slight bit, which I don't know. I feel like if it was a cold, I would have been from like the beginning. I feel like it's just because everything is kind of moving around now and like I'm not super like congested. I mean, I still am, but it's not as bad. And like, you know, I'm kind of like, I have more of a runny nose than a stuffy nose now. And like everything in the back of my throat is kind of gone. And like it never like manifested into like a full blown sore throat. But like today I've had like no problems at all with like my throat or anything like that, which is good. But it's just the annoying kind of stuffed up and sniffly sneezing kind of thing going on. But like I was saying too, it's like everything is still just feels dry, and so that's making me think more again too that it's like it's not a cold and it's a like sinus infection or something like that. I'm like kind of coughing a little bit today, like not as bad, but it's just like a little bit. So like I said, I have no clue. I really don't know what it is, but all I know is that it's annoying. I'd like it to go away. But like the weird thing too is that when I can't necessarily identify exactly what it is, like I'm kind of, again too, it's not allergies, but was it a sinus infection caused by allergies, kind of the cold air, like all that stuff combined with, again too, the bus ride that we had. And you know, I don't know what the filtration system on that charter bus was, or you know, anything like that. So again, too, you know, could it have been all of that stuff kind of combined? I don't know. And that's what caused it. And, you know, I have the lingering after effects from it now, like I said, in whatever cause it is. But, like I said, it's really weird kind of like when it came on. Like, it was right when we were, like, I didn't notice anything during the football game. It was like as soon as we got back on the bus, once I got back in the warm air, you know, that's when I noticed it. And when I had spent an extended period of time outside, which was like, you know, we were outside for probably a couple hours on Saturday in the cold, and then it started raining on top of that too. So, and like my nose was like a little runny because I feel like we were just because it was cold. Like that happened the Friday before that and the Friday before that, I think too. But like it was like this week, but it was this Saturday's football game when, like I said, once we got back on the bus, I was like, this feels more than just like, you know, again, just from being out in the cold, and it didn't really go away. So anyways, I don't know, but I'm feeling better each day, which is good. But like I said, I'm gonna take a shower and get to bed. I did end up, like I told you guys too, we ran, you know, errands me and my mom did earlier. So for trick-or-treating today, honestly guys, I am like, we did not have very many trick-or-treaters. And I feel like, again too, it was all because of the weather and the cold and the snow, which is ridiculous. But we ended up with very few trick-or-treaters, like probably a third or a fourth of like what we had last year. Which is why, again too, I bought so much candy because I was like, we're gonna have tons and tons of trick-or-treaters, and I know how my parents give out candy, you know, they give out like handfuls of candy. So I was like, we need to have a lot of candy. And again too, I didn't spend all that much money on it. Like, again, sometimes some of the bags, like we spent under $50 I think in total on Halloween candy over the course of 5 weeks. However, if you buy like, and again too, we would need like those, they sell like the big, I think it's like a 200 or so counts, like candy bags. For like some of them go for like $25 each, and we would need probably at least 2, because like I said, we end up giving out handfuls of candy. So based on that math, we probably would have spent over $50 anyway on Halloween candy. But again too, with my deals at Jewel and everything like that, we were under $50 for a lot of candy. And like I said, we have kind of too much left over. And again too, it's not that I overbought. I mean, we did, but it wasn't that we overplanned. It's like we didn't get a lot of trick-or-treaters, which was just the weird thing. Like last year, my parents stood out on the front porch, and I think the year before that too, like stood out on the front porch and were like handing out candy and stuff like that. This year, because it was so cold, they were not going to do that. And so I feel like, again too, having less kids, you know, going out and trick-or-treating, and on top of that too, my parents not being outside encouraging people to come and get candy. I think, like I said, we just didn't have as many kids as we normally do. But like, cause it's weird where our house is, sometimes like we'll kind of, cause we're the first house that faces, like after the intersection, we're the first house that faces the main street. There's a house next to us, we're not a corner lot, there's a house next to us, but it faces the other street. So if you're coming down like our street, we're the first house there, and sometimes we get passed over. So like we don't always, and we don't also have a sidewalk that goes to our front, like sidewalk, like from our front door. You have to go down the driveway or just walk through the grass. So unless like my parents are out there handing out candy from, like, you know, again, the front yard or something like that, they're, you know, again, sometimes it's just like the walk of having to get to our driveway. Sometimes you just pass our house anyway just to get to the neighbor's house, because we don't have a sidewalk. So it's just easier, like if you're walking all the way down there, you just go to the next house. So like I said, sometimes we get passed over, but you know, we just got, I felt like a lot less kids this year, and I think it was really because of the snow, because I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago, the same thing happened. We ended up with like a foot of snow for Halloween, and we got very, very few trick-or-treaters, and we bought a lot of candy that year as well. And then this year again too, we bought a pretty decent amount of candy and ended up with like hardly any trick-or-treaters. So now we have a whole bunch of extra candy left over. That kind of stinks that, like I said, we maybe didn't need an extra bag or 2 bags of candy or something like that. But the thing was too, is that when we were buying the candy, even when me and my mom were making the little like candy bags, we were doing those, and even when we were doing that too, it was like we didn't know what the weather was going to be like. We had no clue. We know kind of how many to plan plan for. But I'd say we had like 20 groups of kids, and that's a lot less for us. Like I'd say we probably at least have like 50 plus groups of kids. So that's like, you know, again, 3-4 kids in a group sometimes it's just one, but like I said, we probably had like 20 in total, like maybe answered the door about 20 times. So again, it's like I said, nothing that we could control, nothing that we really could have planned for or knew was going to happen entirely up until like, you know, a couple days ago. But we'd already finished like everything and we're pretty much set for Halloween several days ago. Like I think before the weekend, I want to say. And we didn't necessarily know all of the weather, and again too, if it was going to snow. Like Jack, I think, said yesterday or Sunday maybe, he was like, oh, it's supposed to snow on Halloween. He was like, there's a 50% chance. And again too, I kind of thought like, oh, it's gonna be cold, but maybe flurries. Like when it was snowing as bad as it was, like people don't normally want to go out in that. I saw several cars driving down the street, like letting kids out, and then they come back in the car, like, you know. So it's weird. I never had a Halloween like that when I was growing up, that where there was snow on the ground. I remember one year where it was unforgivingly cold out, but it was not like, and I remember we were bundled up in like winter jackets, but it didn't snow. And like I remember me and my friends, and maybe too, we were just little, so that's why my parents like bundled us up so much. But we had like a little wagon and we'd sit on there, like have a blanket on our laps and stuff like that. But like I don't remember it being like horrible, and like, you know, like my parents even too, like being super dressed up, like warm, like because it was too cold out. But I've never had a Halloween where I was little when I went out trick-or-treating where it snowed that I could ever remember. But I don't think there's ever been one, not in our area. So anyways though, I got a lot of stuff done, again, editing, uploading, that kind of thing today. So I'm gonna take a shower and get to bed. I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see you ever sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.